All right, y'all, it's Wednesday morning. I'm so excited that y'all decided to drop by again. But look, before we get into this video, y'all know what I gotta tell you.
Hype me up.
Come on now. We've
up.
been doing this for over a month
Hype me
now.
up.
Say, bro, I need that like a crackhead need a pipe, man. Real talk. Guys, MAGA tripping. Some of them are thinking about moving to Canada because they have free healthcare. Go figure. Ain't that something? Let's get into this video.
Okay, y'all. As you know, my American family is on a 6-month tourist visa here in Calgary, Alberta. Today, we had to go to a walk-in clinic for the first time, and I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and feedback on this process as an American.
Okay.
First off, it was just awesome hearing people come in and only have to give their universal health care card. Everybody has universal health care here, but because we are tourists, we had to pay cash, and that fee was $150 CAD, which was only $108 in USD, which I thought was very, very reasonable. And then, y'all, here's the biggest surprise. When the doctor walked in, to see a doctor that looked like us. And not only that, y'all, he was professional and very, very thorough. I've never had a doctor check my son's lungs for as long as he did. Then, y'all, it was so convenient. The medication was sent right to the pharmacy right next door. It took 5 minutes. And the cash payment for my son's antibiotics was only $20, y'all. We are truly enjoying our experience here in Canada. And if you want to know how to exit the USA, hit that link below to get your copy of my guide where I highlight 8 different countries that you can check out.
Hey, man, even though this video isn't about black people in healthcare specifically, something stood out because of the video I did last week about, medical people having biases about black people. We have higher pain threshold, tolerance, and things of that nature. And she said that no doctor ever checked her son as thoroughly. I guarantee you, because they was not black. I'm telling you right now, if I was a physician, everyone would get great health care. But if you are black, I'm going to make sure that you get a above average experience, because chances are you never had it before. Let's just be real.
U.S. versus Canada healthcare. Which one would you choose?
Canadian healthcare.
Is there a reason?
Yeah, it's free. It's like, it's funny because like my American friends don't get it. They hear the horror stories.
Yeah.
And there are some bad things about. Look, if I had unlimited money, maybe the American one's pretty good, but
Yes.
then that kind of defeats the purpose.
That's right.
I love being able to walk in with a card. It doesn't matter if I have a sniffle or a gunshot wound.
Right.
One card, will you fix me? And they're like, yes, come in.
Sure. You might wait.
You might wait.
You might wait.
You gonna wait
You know
here
what?
in America?
I've been in emergency rooms in LA. They weren't fast.
Oh.
I wasn't sitting there going, wow, this is the fastest.
And then, you get 3 bills in the mail.
Oh my gosh.
And it's terrifying.
Oh, the best is when they send you the bill and it's not for you. It's just what the insurance company owes. It kind of looks like it's for you. You're like,
What? This is for me?
and they're like, no. We just want to let you know.
And God forbid you go to the wrong out-of-network, whatever the hell that is.
I don't even get that. What is a network?
Canada, 1-0. U.S. versus...
Socialism, devil, bad, defeat the libs. Say, bro, listen, I would love free healthcare. I don't know about y'all. They talking about, but the taxes, bro. Do you think our taxes are cheap here? Hell no, they're not cheap.
So I went to the doctor in Canada for the first time, and this is how it went. So I'm originally from Tennessee. I was not covered under healthcare there, and being in Canada now, going to a university, I am covered under their UHIP insurance for international students. So it's a little bit different. So it took me about a week to actually get into the doctor for my appointment, which isn't really bad. And I was trying to get a new prescription for ADHD meds. So stateside, I was taking Strattera. I had gone through a company called Cerebral, which is fine if you don't have insurance, you can pay out of pocket, but they're able to prescribe you any sort of like stimulants. So you're kind of limited to the type of meds that you can get. So I'm here in Canada. I'm at my, appointment and everything. They do all the normal checkup stuff, which is great. And then she asked me about the meds. She's like, why did they put you on these? And I was like, well, it was kind of the only option, that or Wellbutrin. And I'm like, and I didn't want to go on that because I don't have depression as well. So I'm like, I'd rather not have to deal with that. And she said, so how long have you been on them? I'm like, about 2 months. She's like, did they do any testing on you before they even gave you this? And I was like, no. They gave me like a 10-minute phone call and just prescribed it. And she was like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that with these meds. And she's like, traditionally, we don't usually prescribe this except for certain particular reasons. She's like, you wouldn't be a good fit for this medication anyway. And I was like, oh, okay. So we ended up finding a different fit for me, which is great. They ended up doing tons of tests on my heart to make sure that my heart was able to handle a stimulant, which was amazing. And she was like, yeah, you're all good to go. Here's your prescription. She's like, I want to see you back in a week. And we're going to do similar tests just to make sure your body can handle what you're doing. And if we need to adjust any of the dosage, we can go ahead and handle it there. And that just blew my fucking mind. Because if this was stateside and I had to go to the doctor twice in a month, like, I couldn't afford that.
Broke.
I could never afford that. I could hardly, like, afford the medication. So it is just, it's crazy. Like, I am so appreciative of it. Now, I understand that most people or some people in Canada don't have this kind of experience with healthcare, because I know there's a lot of flaws in the healthcare system here too. But for someone in my age range who is going to school, it is really beneficial and takes a lot of stress off of my shoulders. Like, if I get sick, I don't have to worry about not being able to afford medication here, which is just a wonderful luxury that I've never had before. So I'm very happy. And hopefully, if you're in a similar boat and you're thinking about studying abroad, like, this maybe gives you some reasons to try it.
Yeah, bruh. Canada over there taking care of their citizens, man. Something that this country may not ever experience, bro. In fact, your POTUS doesn't give a shit about you. This is what he said when people brought up affordability.
Affordability. They're the ones that caused the problem. I'll tell you one thing. They got one good line of bullshit. That's one thing I'll say about it. They are so bad. They are so bad. It's true. Affordability. It's the first time I heard the word. I'm 2 days in, and I watched this sleazebag, one of these crazy congressmen, get up, and he's being interviewed. He said, affordability, prices are too high. I've just got there. But we brought prices way down. They gave us tremendously high prices, and they'll give them to you again. They take over. And the Democrats start screaming.
Y'all see this dude, bro? Straight idiot. Straight lunatic. Gone pecans, bro. Listen, I shouldn't be subjected to this because I'm somebody's child, and neither should you. Listen, somebody said national debt just surpassed GDP. Keep laughing. Dog, how do we owe more money than we produce? Well, that's the common reality for most Americans. You're owing more than what you bringing in. Your house costs more than what you make a year. Your car definitely most likely just about costs what you make a year. Come on now. We spending more than we bring in, and the country is operating just like us, which it shouldn't be. This is crazy. I thought a businessman would know how to really do some shit, but I guess, that's wishful thinking.
So Trump just said that it is impossible for him to take care of Medicare, Medicaid, and daycare. MAGA is so fucking stupid, okay? He is taking all of our money.
Yep.
He's taking every last dollar of the federal government, and he's giving it to himself and his friends. He's cutting Medicare and Medicaid from the federal government. Watch. That's what he's telling us. And he doesn't believe in affordable daycare. So every time they want to force a woman to have a freaking baby that she doesn't want to have, and they want to tell people to have kids they can't afford, and then yell at them when they can't afford to feed them, this is what he's doing. He keeps telling us out loud, and I cannot believe that MAGA thought for 1 second that he was going to do anything to make our lives better. He's stealing our money every single day.
Ben.
And it's only going to get worse.
Ben.
He's now having our sons and daughters in a war, losing their lives. So there's that. You MAGA, you suck. I cannot stand you people. You fell for it. We told you. You could not be more stupid.
Hey, bro, listen, what do you expect? People from white folks from Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, who talk like this? Listen, I tell you what, man, I love everything about that Trump. Everything. I like a man that does what he says and says what he does and means what he says and says what he means. I mean, that's the type of guy. He's from New York. Those guys are no bullshit guys, man. Sure, the company and the country is, gas is high. But you can't put a price. You can't put a price on protection. You can't put a price on protection. What's your favorite policy by him? I like what he's doing with the cryptocurrency, trying to get us off of the dollar. Like, man, shut your stupid ass up, man. Y'all don't be knowing what the hell y'all talking about, dog. Have you ever listened to one of these people? Bro, do yourself a favor. Act like you actually are a MAGA fan and go talk to these people and ask them what they like most about Trump. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to tell you anything of value. Nothing substantial. It's going to be feels, vibes, and shit. Like, I like him because he says what he says what's on his mind. Man, shut your ignorant ass up. You don't know no better.
This is for y'all MAGA. Y'all MAGA motherfuckers love to say, we are owning the libs. Let's own the libs. So look around. Who's really owning who now, huh? Your farms are folding, soybean fields are dying, corporate giants snatching up bankrupt land while small town families lose everything. You owning anything yet, huh, MAGA? Rural hospitals are what? They're shuttered. Ambulance rides cost more than your rent.
And guess what? He said rural hospitals are shutting down. You know what's interesting? A lot of rural people identify as MAGA, straight up, and them are the ones who are being adversely affected by this shit. You voted for it, and now you paying for it, period.
Healthcare is double, if not triple, and is completely out of reach. Oil prices climb, meat prices break records, groceries drain your paycheck. Try buying a car or a home today. You'll need a miracle, not a mortgage.
Good luck.
In the hospital industry, ICE raids cleared the kitchens, and now restaurants can't even find any workers now. So tell me this, MAGA, was it worth it owning the libs? Huh? Was it worth bankrupting your farms to own the libs? Was it worth your family losing health care just to own the libs? You're still up here trying to prove a point with fucking slogans. Because right now, Americans are fighting each other right now. And all the while y'all sitting up here fighting each other, billionaires are cashing in.
And guess what? Specifically, the billionaires who were his top 10, 15 donors. The number one donor of Trump is an oil guy. And because of what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz, he's getting richer. Supply and demand, bro. And a lot of people don't know this, but I think somewhere I read 80 to 90% of like the natural gas is coming through the Strait of Hormuz. You got the fertilizer, you have sulfur, all of these industrial chemicals that people need in order to do things like manufacturing products and services are coming through the Strait of Hormuz. It ain't just oil. That's what they told us. But it's like so many other things that are the fertilizer. That's another one. People don't have no common sense, dog. And that's why Trump said what he said, allegedly. If he was to ever run for president, he would go as a Republican because they're stupid. That's what they say he said.
Bills in the mail nearly every single week. Here's another bill for $1,261. What's the description for? Actually, it doesn't even say.
But girl, let's clear a few things up. You supported your own demise. Again. You actively support an administration that passed things like the One Big Beautiful Bill, which made healthcare prices go up for millions of Americans, directly and indirectly. It just so happens to be affecting you now. Yeah. Because this is part of the whole domino effect. When hospitals lose Medicaid funding, they only have a few choices. They can close, lay people off, or raise prices to make up for the funds they lost. It's also well documented that when hospitals close, surviving hospitals increase their prices because there's fewer options and less leverage for insurance providers to negotiate lower prices. And that's if they can get care at all. Riley, I know we're just talking about your problems, but consider that Trump's policies have created care deserts. So many expectant mothers are left without access to care at all. Fewer options for care, and it's more expensive. That's what this administration you support has accomplished so far.
Bills in the...
And there you go. Have the day you voted for. That's what they basically saying with your stupid ass. Use your brain and you don't find yourself in these situations, bro. When they have an educated population, they can't get over on you. It's really just that simple. The smarter your citizens are, the less bullshit you can shove down their throats. It's really a simple concept, man. Listen, look around the table. If you don't know who the sucker is, guess what? It's you.
Come with me as I travel to Canada and back in one day to get the medication that I need to live my life that I'm having so much trouble getting in the United States. Normally, if this were the case, I could order it from a Canadian pharmacy, but because of the tariffs, they are not shipping to the United States right now. Besides that, there's also the postal strike, Canadian postal strike. So right now, it is currently 4:47 a.m. My first flight is at 6:15. I will have 3 other flights today, 2 flights to get me there, 2 flights to get me back, and hopefully I will get a 90-day supply of my medication that for me will actually last me about 6 months. And by the way, that 90-day supply I'll be getting for less than the cost of a 1-month supply in the United States.
Wow.
So I've started my day with buying a pass to the American Airlines Lounge, having a coffee and a bagel in Locks, and buying a day pass will cover me for all of my flights and all the airports I will be in today. Come with me as I travel to Canada.
Y'all heard that, huh? Cheaper. Tariffs is causing her to have to do this type of shit. Why do we have tariffs? Because of MAGA. MAGA voted Trump crazy ass in office, dog. This dude is not a real businessman. Dude felt I was more successful at business than Trump. Shit. I never went bankrupt. I hope I never do. But nah, bro, the dude owes a lot of people money. That's the thing. Do y'all know that they owe people money for the building they was using a campaign? I forget what it was, man, but like they used the venue for like a rally and they never paid them folks. But whole time Trump then came up like $3 billion in the last year and still owe them people money for using their venue. But he has a history of not paying folks, so I don't think they're going to get that bread.
More Americans are fleeing to Canada. You're a Canadian, I believe. What's going on here?
They're going to Canada right now for a bunch of different reasons.
People aren't packing bags. They're opening tabs.
We get calls almost every day from people in the United States who are looking to move to Canada.
Given the current state of the United States administration, I think it's important to kind of have that in the back pocket.
Searching things they never cared about before. Ancestry records, second passports, foreign tax systems, and it's happening quietly, almost invisibly. Silent shift happening, and most people are missing it.
And you know why? Because if this hits the news, this hits the press in waves, that's gonna make Trump feel bad. Because why are people leaving America? We making this thing great again. You know he hates anything that sheds negative light on him. He gonna call you out your name. The man gonna call you everything but a child of God if you say or do anything he doesn't approve of. Man, he's like one big ass, goofy ass, bad, ill-behaved child. That's what he no. This man is everything they thought Obama was gonna be in the White House. They thought it was gonna be ghetto with Obama. Turns out he was actually probably the classiest president that we ever seen in our lifetime. And then you get Trump. Trump acts like a redneck, man. That's what it is. Trump.
Because the people doing this don't look like people who leave. They're normal, stable, predictable, the kind who build their lives in one place and stay there. But something changed. Not overnight, not because of one headline, but through a slow build of pressure, policy debates, uncertainty about direction, a feeling that things might not stay as predictable as they used to be. And that feeling started a question. What if I need a backup?
Americans are leaving the United States in unprecedented numbers, and it's not just talk anymore. Jen Barnett, founder of relocation company Expatsy, told the Wall Street Journal that the profile of Americans leaving has fundamentally changed. Previously, the Americans leaving were super adventurous and well-credentialed. Now they're ordinary people like me, said Barnett, a 54-year-old Alabama native who moved to Mexico in 2024. The reasons are not subtle either. Trump's administration crackdown, mass deportation plans, and broader political climate are pushing people who never even considered leaving to start researching visas, ancestry records, and foreign tax codes. Canada just made that decision significantly easier for millions of Americans who didn't even know they qualified in the first place. I'm Elle. I have a PhD in computer science and I use data analysis to spot patterns in geopolitics and economics. Just a very brief note today.
Yeah, bro, I don't know nothing about this lady, but all of those credentials, I would find it hard to believe that she's MAGA, because usually MAGA ain't got no credentials like that, dog. If she knows how to interpret data, then she can't be fed the propaganda and the bullshit that the MAGA cult wants to shove down the throats of most people. So I'm optimistic about this, goddammit.
That many people have asked about, there is another channel, Houseofl-AI, and many of you have reached out to ask if it's somebody impersonating me. It is definitely still me. I just wanted to make videos on the topic of AI as well. You're welcome to subscribe if that's your cup of tea. Anyway, let's move on. On December 15th, Canada changed its citizenship law to allow status to pass down through unlimited ancestral generations for people born before that date. Anyone with a Canadian grandparent, great-grandparent, or further back may already be considered a Canadian citizen under the new rules. They're not applying to become a citizen, they're asking Ottawa to acknowledge a right that legally already exists. Immigration lawyers on both sides of the border say applications for proof of citizenship have spiked to the point that some practices are dropping other work just to cope.
So in other words, we're seeing a spike in applications to go to Canada. Why, if this country is doing so well, would that be the case? I need every MAGA person to answer that question for me. Why are Americans fleeing to Canada in droves like this? Make it make sense, man. If this country is so great for you, everything is cheap, gas ain't high, food is cheap, you got the best health care, you have the best president alive ever in history. Come on, man. Why would you be leaving America? Now, look, before y'all run and try to go to Canada, let's see what she got to say.
Might consider fleeing to Canada.
My message is that Canada controls our borders, that every Canadian has the absolute right to expect that our country chooses who comes here and who doesn't. That fundamental control is the underpinning of Canada being the country who we are, which is at our core a country that has grown thanks to immigrants and immigration. But you can only do that if Canadians know that we control our borders, we control who comes here, and crucially, we control who doesn't.
My question is your message to the outside world, because last time Donald Trump instituted a dramatic policy, 2017, the Prime Minister tweeted, "To those fleeing persecution, terror, and war, Canada welcomes you." What is your message to people who would try to get into Canada now?
My message today is Canada has an excellent immigration system. We are a country that welcomes new Canadians because we know the value they bring, but we welcome them in an organized, systematic way.
What?
Ooh-wee. Hey, man, you know what to solve MAGA from going to Canada? Simple IQ test. Straight up, man. They not going to be able to pass it. They're going to have to stay over here. But then again, they have to stay over here, which doesn't help us. I'm conflicted. I don't know what to think. I don't know what's up, what's down, what's left, what's right, dark, light. I don't know no more, bro, at this point. Now, I know a bunch of MAGA people are going to have something to say about Canada's healthcare and all that kind of stuff. So let's just hear from the horse's mouth.
Here's someone that experienced both American and Canadian healthcare systems and says it's better and cheaper in Canada. Better is a little subjective because the healthcare system on both sides of the border are excellent. The doctors on both sides of the borders are excellent. The waiting times on both sides of the borders are always too long if you're waiting for care, but here's the thing. When you get care in Canada, it's covered, and even the out-of-pocket expenses in Canada are less than in the United States. Sure, there will always be people going to a different country because of a specific doctor there. They want to do their surgery. Usually it's orthopedic. But I would have no problem getting any of my healthcare done at the University of Toronto, which has led the world consistently in innovation. Like, you know, they're the first ones that actually found insulin and purified it. So the bottom line is that it costs less than half in Canada than the United States. And you can talk about taxes all you want. The fact remains, healthcare is half in Canada and they cover everybody, and it costs less for the people to get there. So think about the cost of your premium, the cost of your copay, the cost of your deductible, and factor that into the healthcare cost that we spend in the government or your business spends on you. And the bottom line is, we need universal healthcare by whatever method it's done, because what will happen is it will be better, it will be safer, everybody will be covered. And by the way, when everybody's covered, there's also a lot less malpractice because people don't go broke when they have a medical illness.
Go figure. God damn it. Somebody, child, I deserve free healthcare, man. Hey, man, but look, that's the end of the video. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And don't forget to
hype me up, hype me up, hype me up.